What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Like always, like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I am shooting this quick review before I go to work. I am definitely reading a little bit better this month than January and February. So we have our second book finished of the month. I mean, they are shorter, but who cares? We have Star Trek The Next Generation, The Romulan Stratagem. See this amazing cover art by the book was by Robert Greenberger first, but the cover art Keith Birdsong, Picard. We got Commander Sela and Romulan, which all play prominent parts in the book. Um, the book was actually pretty good, solid 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I loved it actually. It was I had a good time. Read it pretty fast. It was just a diplomatic book. Some action going on in it. Like there's a terrorist attack on one of their facilities. Geordi, gets accused because they sensed a human presence. So, anyways, before you get to all that, there's a world called Elo, and the Elosians, they just made peace. They've been in civil war for most of their existence, and they've come together, and the government of the world realizes that they need outside help if they're gonna progress further into life. So now we insert Picard and crew, and then you have Commander Sela and the Romulans. Those are the two factions, basically trying to get the Elosians to join either the Federation or the Romulan Empire. So Picard and Sela meet up again. They're, basically rivals now. If you've seen the last episode of season 4 and the first episode of season 5, where Commander Sela comes in, Picard is always thrown by her because she looks so much like Tasha Yar. She claims that she's Yar's daughter from an alternate timeline or something like that. So Picard's always tripped up around her. And so they're basically bidding to get, the Elosians to join either the Federation or the Romulans. And while this is going on, you have a third party basically outside. Well, there's four parties. You have the main government of the Elosians, the Romulans, the Federation. There's a third party that's kind of hidden throughout the whole book that doesn't want the Elosians to, get any outside influence. So all this goes on. Basically, this outside party, you know, has a mole inside the Romulans that's helping them out. They do a terrorist attack on a facility, not meaning to kill people, but they killed people. Geordi does his best to save as many people as he can, and he gets accused. That all reconciles. Picard is doing his best as a diplomatic leader to convince the Elosians why they should join the Federation and not the Romulan Empire. Scylla is her character development is really good in the book, from where she starts off, coming in as Picard's rival to basically seeing him as an honorable person, and even though the rival's going to continue after the book, she respects him more. So that was pretty cool to see. I liked that. And then the Ro Lawrence side story is basically some happenings on the. It's actually just like a little funny story going on at the whole time the diplomatic storylines going on. She is on the ship. Riker commands her to basically escort a family around the ship and show them everything to kind of help her as an officer, and get adapted to the Enterprise and all that stuff. And it was actually honestly pretty cool to see her where she starts, because I've only read her character in the Deep Space Nine books that I've read. She's a pretty prominent character in those. She was definitely had a large role in this one as like basically a side arc. And anyway, so she's escorting this family, and the 17-year-old boy of the family basically falls head over heels for her. So she's trying to figure out how to not let that happen. So that's a pretty funny little story, especially how she finally convinces him that she's not the one for him. It's pretty hilarious what she does. I won't spoil it. So anyways, Picard and Scylla, and then there's another part after the terrorist attack on the facility. There is basically like another little attack in the streets, and so Data and Commander Scylla team up to not only look for one of Sela's missing Romulans, one of her top people that she loves, and figure out who's behind these attacks. So that was a pretty interesting little segment of the book as they navigate, basically the underground of the illusion world, and then Worf ends up teaming up with them. So Worf has to put his hatred of the Romulans aside to help Data and Sayla uncover the truth, which they eventually do, and they figure out that Sayla's basically first officer Plactus is the mole of the Romulans, and he's behind a lot of the issues going on the Illusion planet, as he was hired by this fourth party called the Assembly to basically convince the Illusions that they don't want any help from either of the outside factions. Well, all that happens. Riker's also in the book a lot, but he's just being Riker. So all that happens, and Commander Sayla and Picard get one final chance to convince the Illusians to join either the Federation or the Romulans. Well, here's another book, just like Power Hungry, where the Federation, really doesn't get a conclusion in the end, as the Illusians seek to not have a government that would let them be free of will to their own device, because they know that's not going to benefit them, because it never has. So the Federation, they choose the Romulans, because the Romulans will make them unify at gunpoint, basically. So Commander Sayla wins this round against Picard. So I thought that was interesting, that there really wasn't another book where there's really no, the Federation doesn't win this round or something. So I really like that. Power Hungry did it too, and I enjoyed that. So maybe there's more, I don't know. But yeah, this book was a solid 9 out of 10. I really thought Ro Lauren's side story was hilarious. It was a fun little adventure within the basically the stagnant diplomatic storyline, which I say stagnant, but by no means am I saying it was bad. It was great. The lack of action does not matter in this book, as the story itself is well told. Robert Greenberger does an amazing job writing. I was able to read it fast and retain it. So excellent book. I highly recommend it. 9 out of 10. Star Trek: The Next Generation, The Romulan Stratagem by Robert Greenberger. And just look at that cover. Let's look at it. Keith Birdsong. I'm on a Keith Birdsong kick right now as far as covers go. So if you read it, I know some of you that watch the channel probably have. Let me know what you thought about it. I thought it was great. I guess it could have been a 10 out of 10, but you know what? It wasn't. I'll never read it again. So that's why it's a 9 out of 10. So pretty dang close to perfect, and pretty close to an 11 out of 10, which is I'm overhyped when I hit those, but haven't had one of those in a minute. So next up we have another, you guessed it. Oh, never mind. I can't show y'all. But it's another Keith Birdsong cover in Exiles. So that's next up. Another Next Generation book. I'm on a big Next Generation kick. So like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And later.